History often celebrates conquerors, kings, generals, empires built with blood and steel. But the true forces that shape the world rarely wear crowns. They begin quietly, in workshops, in the hands of thinkers whose names history often forgets. Long before the modern world existed, ancient China gave birth to four inventions that would quietly but permanently rewrite human destiny. They were not created to rule the world. They were created to solve problems. Yet once released into history, they became unstoppable. These inventions crossed borders, toppled old powers, lifted new voices, and reshaped the balance between the strong and the weak. And in a twist history repeats again and again, the very tools meant to bring order eventually disrupted those who tried to control them. If knowledge is power, then these four inventions were its sharpest weapons. China, thousands of years ago, was not a single, unchanging empire. It was a living, breathing civilization, expanding, struggling, reorganizing itself again and again. Governing such vast land required more than armies. It required memory, communication, direction, and control. Without innovation, chaos was inevitable. The first challenge was simple but deadly. Knowledge could not last. Before paper, ideas were fragile things. Records were carved into bone, etched into bronze, or written on heavy bamboo strips tied together with rope. These methods were slow, expensive, and fragile. Knowledge moved at the speed of feet and faded with time. If a document burned, the truth vanished with it. Power belonged only to those who could afford memory. China needed something lighter, something cheaper, something that could carry ideas beyond palaces and into daily life. That need gave birth to paper. When paper emerged during the Han Dynasty, it did not announce itself as revolutionary. It was humble, soft, almost dismissible, but its impact was immediate. Suddenly, records could be copied, letters could be sent, laws could be preserved, history itself could be stored, not just remembered. Paper changed who could participate in civilization. Scholars no longer needed royal backing to preserve thought. Officials could manage vast territories. Merchants could track trade. Even ordinary people could begin to engage with written knowledge. Ideas no longer died with their creators. They lived on. But with this gift came danger. Once knowledge could be preserved, it could also be questioned. Once records existed, lies could be challenged. Paper strengthened the state, but it also planted the seeds of accountability. Power was no longer invisible. It left a paper trail. That was the first quiet shift in history. Authority was still strong, but now it had memory, and memory does not forget. Yet paper alone was not enough. Ideas still traveled slowly. A single copy remained just that, one voice, one place, one moment in time. Then came printing. Long before Europe's printing presses roared to life, China experimented with block printing and later movable type. At first, it served religion, education, and government. Sacred texts could be reproduced. Instructions could be standardized. Knowledge became consistent. But consistency is dangerous to unchecked power. Printing did something no ruler could fully control. It multiplied truth. Once words could be repeated exactly, again and again, across distance and time, ideas gained momentum. What was once whispered could now echo. Books spread beyond elites. Education expanded. Shared understanding grew. Printing connected minds that would never meet. It created a collective memory, stronger than any single ruler's will. This was the moment when knowledge truly became democratic, and history has never forgiven that shift. As printing traveled beyond China's borders, it ignited transformations no empire could stop. Religious movements, scientific inquiry, political revolutions. Printing did not just share information, it challenged authority itself. Those who tried to silence ideas found themselves outpaced by copies they could not burn fast enough. The second great invention had crossed a line. Power was no longer held only by those at the top. It now lived in the hands of readers. But even knowledge needs direction. China's vast lands were bordered by oceans, deserts, and mountains. Travel was dangerous. Navigation depended on stars, landmarks, and guesswork. One mistake could mean death. Trade routes were fragile. Exploration was limited by fear of the unknown. Then came the compass. Originally developed for spiritual balance and alignment, the magnetic compass soon revealed something extraordinary. It pointed not to safety, but to truth. Direction became reliable. The worlds became readable. With the compass, humans stopped wandering blindly. China could now navigate rivers, coastlines, and open seas with confidence. Trade expanded, contact increased, horizons widened. The compass reduced fear, and fear had always been the greatest barrier to progress. But once again, invention escaped its original purpose. As the compass spread across the world, it fueled exploration on a global scale. New lands were discovered, cultures collided, wealth flowed across oceans, and with exploration came conquest. The compass did not choose how it would be used, it simply revealed direction. It guided traders and conquerors alike. This was history's pattern repeating itself. Tools designed for balance became tools of expansion. Knowledge created opportunity, and opportunity reshaped power. Yet nothing transformed power more violently than the fourth invention, gunpowder. It began not as a weapon, but as an experiment. Alchemists searching for immortality stumbled upon a substance that burned with terrifying force. At first, it was used in rituals, fireworks, and signals, celebration, not destruction. But fire has a language rulers understand. Soon, gunpowder was shaped into weapons, bombs, cannons, rockets. Warfare was rewritten. Strength no longer depended on muscle or honor, it depended on technology. Walls that once symbolized safety crumbled. Armies that once relied on numbers fell to explosions. The battlefield became louder, faster, and far deadlier. Power shifted overnight. And as gunpowder moved beyond China, it reshaped the entire world. Feudal systems collapsed, castles became obsolete, empires rose and fell not by bravery, but by innovation. The invention meant to protect borders erased them. This was the darkest irony of all four inventions. Each was created to solve a problem, each was meant to improve life, and each, once released, became something larger, something uncontrollable. Together, paper, printing, the compass, and gunpowder formed a chain reaction across centuries. They empowered the curious, they punished the rigid, they rewarded those who adapted and destroyed those who clung to control. China gave the world these tools, but history did not stop at borders. The greatest lesson lies not in the inventions themselves, but in what happened next. Some rulers tried to hoard knowledge. They restricted printing, limited education, controlled technology. They believed power could be frozen in time. History proved them wrong. Others embraced change. They learned, they adapted, they shared, and they surged forward. This is the karma of innovation. Knowledge does not obey fear. It moves towards openness, towards curiosity, towards progress. Those who block it are eventually left behind, not because they were weaker, but because they refused to evolve. Today, the modern world still runs on echoes of these four inventions. Every book, every map, every explosion of technology traces its roots back to ancient China's quiet brilliance. The past whispers a warning. Ideas are more powerful than armies. Information outlives empires, and no force in history has ever successfully stopped the spread of knowledge. History does not belong to rulers. It belongs to creators. And the greatest inventions are not those that dominate, but those that change who gets to shape the future. If this story changed how you see history, remember to like this video, share it with others, and subscribe for more stories where the past reveals the hidden forces that still shape our world today. Because history isn't just something we study, it's something we inherit.